having me.
Hey, what's up? So we are going to discuss our top 5 streaming content. So that goes for movies and television shows and like Netflix originals, Hulu originals, things like that. Welcome to the stream. Do you have anything to say before we get started into the list?
Yeah, actually I just started watching Ratchet on Netflix this morning. So I've been kind of like binge watching that, and it's pretty good so far. It's like, it's really Ryan Murphy. So if you're not a Ryan Murphy fan, I don't suggest it. But yeah, it's been great. That's what I did this morning.
Yeah. Catch up. How far are you into the show?
I think I'm like episode 3, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do watch American Horror Story, and it's a great show.
Yeah.
Do you watch the show American Horror Story?
I did Murder House. I did Asylum, and then Asylum just creeped me out. So like I would only watch the pilots of the other seasons just to like see if I could get into it, but then I just stopped.
Really? I feel like the pilots are usually the most freakiest episodes of each season, but as the seasons progress, it gets less creepy. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Asylum was crazy. That's probably my favorite season of the show.
I wish I got through it. I just got really like nervous and I couldn't watch it.
Nah, not for me.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have any honorable mentions for this?
Oh man.
I know we didn't really discuss that part, but do you have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions? I would
didn't quite make the list.
Movie-wise, because I love the Netflix original films, I'd have to go with The Five Bloods that came out earlier this year. I thought it was really underrated, and it kind of flew under the radar when it came out, which I didn't really understand. So anytime I get the opportunity to tell people to go watch The Five Bloods, like this is definitely it. Yeah, I think that's the only one that I'd say that didn't really get the recognition for me anyway. What about you, AJ?
I had a few. I had them on the banner. So Hemlock Grove, I think that was the very first Netflix original show that I ever checked out, as Bill Skarsgård, Famke Jensen, and it's very odd. It's a very strange show. It's kind of like Twilight on steroids. It's like really dark and gritty, things like that. It has werewolves and things like that, but it's like really, really strange. If you're into that kind of thing, I would recommend it, Amanda and the viewers. And also Arrested Development. Arrested Development wasn't always a Netflix original. It got picked up on Netflix, and it's just a show that I love to just put on. And it's funny enough, when it went to Netflix, the episodes that were released on Netflix are not my favorite. So, but the show that when it was on television, those are like my favorite seasons.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have you ever seen Arrested Development or had any?
People keep telling me to watch it, and I always get it confused with Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I don't like Larry David, so it annoys me when I get them confused. It annoys me, but like I need to give Arrested Development. That's what Jason Bateman's in that one, right?
Yeah.
So I have to give that.
It has nothing to do with Curb.
Yeah, like I get it. I don't know why. I just get it confused all the time. And
so why don't you like Larry David? That's a question that I wanted.
Seinfeld is not my friend. I can't get behind Seinfeld. I never liked it at all.
The show or the individual?
Like, both. Like Jerry Seinfeld's fine. Like don't get me wrong. It's just like not my type of humor. Like Seinfeld is a show about nothing. Literally, it's about nothing, and that was that's the plot. Like that's how they sold it. They're like, it's all a show about nothing with 4 people. Okay.
You said nah, not for me.
I'm more of a Friends fan, so.
Oh, Friends. I love Friends.
Yes.
That's my show.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so let's just get into the list. I'm gonna have you go first. Your number 5.
My number 5 is Hunters on Amazon Prime. This is such a controversial show. But when it came out, it had executive producer Jordan Peele, and I was sold. The second Jordan Peele signed on, I'm like, yes, I'm watching it. I don't care. David Weil, if I say that wrong, I'm so sorry. David Weil, I'm pretty sure. He directed it, and he's the creator of the show with Jordan Peele. And it's so dark. And it's about, minorities, taking what's theirs, taking back what's theirs. And I think the group of the hunters was really, they were handpicked really well. I actually wrote an article about it on Candid Cinema, my website. and David Wheel actually liked it, and he read through.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh my god! I was
That's
like, this
dope.
show's great. It was so cool, and I got my first like tagline in one of the promotional videos from Twitter as well. So I'm like, yeah, like supporting
Nice.
these this series is really cool and it's great. And Logan Lerman absolutely blew my mind in that show. I thought he was brilliant with it, like especially going toe to toe with Al Pacino. Like that is such a
Yeah.
big thing. And the
True.
rest of the cast, like I didn't really like How I Met Your Mother and how it ended, but Josh Radnor's character as Ted Mosby wasn't my favorite in the show.
I agree.
But,
I agree.
like Josh Radnor and Hunters, oh my god,
He
like
flipped it.
like completely, but he was so much fun, and I'm like, yo, he's actually so talented. Like he was wasted in How I Met Your Mother, but
Okay.
the political undertones that are presented in this show is something that I really connected with, because even though it takes place in a different era, a lot of those issues are still like relevant today, and I really think they did a great job crossing things over. Yeah, Hunters is a lot to take in. It's very graphic. If
About
you're
how many episodes?
I believe it was 8. I kind of binged it within 2 days because I watched it with my parents as well. And I'm like, guys, we're sitting down, we're watching it, like, we're not missing anything. It was 8 or 10 episodes. I don't remember it because I just watched it so quickly. It was excellent. It was just so well written. And yeah, there was controversy, but
that makes for an interesting show.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
controversy. Yeah, for sure. I actually have not seen Hunters, and I guess I need to check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
So moving on to my number 5, Palm Springs. This is a film from Hulu. Yes, Hulu original film that came out this year, 2020, and it was earlier this summer. And this movie is just hilarious. It's really good. I feel like the writing is basically a rom-com in a time loop type film, and I really enjoy that aspect. I heard a lot of people referring to it as like kind of like a Groundhog Day type of film. But I heard that Groundhog Day is a lot more depressing. I haven't seen Groundhog Day, but yeah, I hear that it's kind of more depressing. What are you saying? What do you feel about it?
I don't like Groundhog Day, so
okay.
yeah, I know everyone's obsessed with it. I get the whole Bill Murray's like a comedy god. I understand, I get it, but I watched Groundhog Day and I'm like, what's the buzz for it? But Palm Springs, I completely agree with you. It's in my top 10 of this year. I loved it so much. It was great. And it is refreshing. I know everyone's like, oh, but it's the same time loop like structure, but it's still like something that's fun. It has been done before, but not in this capacity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's about the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
I completely agree with you, AJ.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I didn't realize that I was going to like it as much as I did going into it, but after I was like, wow, I'm impressed.
Yeah, Andy Samberg never fails, man. Like
really, he doesn't.
Realizing that.
It's crazy. Okay, so moving on to your number 4.
Yes, my number 4 is The Great, and it's about Catherine the Great. And Elle Fanning is absolutely incredible in this show. Again, I watched the first episode and I'm like, oh, it's cool, it's good. And then the second half of the pilot just, oh my god, it hooked me. I was like, I'm so intrigued by like these characters. And then Nicholas Hoult, I don't think he's ever been better. He was brilliant in this too, and they had such great chemistry, and the writing is so strong. And the humor is really it's really dark. Like it's dark humor. Like it's there. Like it's
so if you're into that.
Yeah, I guess I do, but like it hurts to laugh sometimes, but just the power of Catherine the Great and showing her journey in becoming a ruler, I thought was really well done. And Elle Fanning's just stunning. It's just incredible work. And I love that era, the Catherinian era, the Victorian era. I don't know why. Like I don't seem like when I look at myself, I'm like, I don't know why I like this stuff. Like I love that stuff. I love it for some reason. And this was really well done. It's really refreshing. There's a lot of cursing, which is weird for that era, but like it works. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did.
Yeah, I didn't watch this series, but my wife did, and she really enjoyed it as well. She loves those, type period piece type films, and her favorite romance film is what is it? The Pride and Prejudice. So she loves those types of shows and film. I'm not really like in that category. I don't know. I saw a little bit of the show with her, and every time I looked up, somebody was getting it on. They was knocking. I was like, "What is going on in this show? What are you watching?" But she was like, "It's good. It's not about that. It's not about that."
It's not.
So So I heard that it's good. If you guys are interested in that type of show, definitely check out The Great. So moving on to my number 4, Defending Jacob. This was a show that premiered on Apple TV Plus. It stars Chris Evans, and I can't remember the guys and the kid's name from it. But yeah, so it's a really intriguing show. It's a slow burn because this is a mystery and they're trying to figure out certain things. I'm not gonna give it away, but they're trying to figure out certain things, and it's just a wild ride, and I think it really does pay off. The ending might not be my favorite, but it's definitely worth the watch. Definitely worth the watch. Mm-hmm. What you think about this show? You enjoyed it, right?
I loved it. It gave me like David Fincher vibes, and Gone Girl is one of my favorite movies ever. And that Mindhunter's an honorable mention. Damn, shoot.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You can put it in here.
It's coming now. So, I really enjoyed it. Chris Evans was great. Michelle Dockery, who played his wife, was great. The whole show's cool. I really enjoyed it. It was a good watch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I watched it almost in one sitting, all in one sitting. It was very intriguing.
Yeah.
So moving on to Manda's number 3.
Yeah. So
this is the correct title, right? Because you sent me Hill House, and I think this is the correct title, right?
A Haunting at Hill, or of maybe. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry. Yes, it's okay. It's not.
It's okay.
It's The Haunting of Hill House. But yes.
Okay.
It's all good. So if anyone knows me, I love Halloween so much. I love October. I love September. It's all like fall, and I love it so much. So The Haunting of Hill House, everyone was saying, "Oh, it's so creepy. It's so it's just terrifying, but in the right ways." And so the reason why I love this show is that it's written so extremely well. Mike Flanagan is a severely underrated director. And when I found out that he was directing Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to one of my favorite horror films of all time, The Shining, I was on board. And now The Haunting of Bly Manor is coming out in October as well. So it's more of like an anthology series, but it has to do with family. And it's literally a haunted house, but there's so much depth to it. Like, it's not, when you see those like kiddie, like haunted house type of like, you know what I mean? Like the
it's not too much depth to it.
Yeah, but this story, like I believe it was 8 episodes because I watched it when it came out. So I was going to revisit it
like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
2018 maybe.
Yeah, and this was just like, it blew my mind. Like, there were jump scares. There were such like emotionally traumatizing moments for these children in the show, and like I couldn't sleep at night, and I binged it in one sitting. So like that was my mistake, watching it at 2 o'clock in the morning.
You brought it on yourself.
Right? And then the best part is if you do a rewatch, apparently you'll see the figures in the background. So I'd go back and watch the episodes right after I finished, and I'm like, okay, I spot eyes there. There's a ghost there. There's this, and it's really cool. So it leaves so much to the imagination. But that's the one thing I recommend for this October. If you guys want to get your spook on, watch The Haunting of Hill House before you watch The Haunting of Bly Manor. Literally back to back. It's worth it.
Bly Manor. Okay, so Haunting of Hill House, it got canceled, and then it's kind of like in the same universe or same creators, or
so
what's the deal with that?
It didn't get canceled. Like, it did the full like 8 episode or 10 episode run on Netflix.
Okay.
And then Mike Flanagan's idea was to do like an anthology series. So it's all within the same realm. It's kind of like a season 2, like a follow-up, because there are the same actors. So if you look at it, it's kind of like American Horror Story.
Okay. Okay.
So you
That
have
makes sense.
similar actors, and then they're in different settings, and there's different like storylines. So I think it really works, especially with his eye. Like he's brilliant. So I'm excited.
So would you consider it a different show? Is it the same show or is it different?
I would say it's different. I would say it's different from the trailer. Like it does have the same vibe, but I think that he's going to go a bit deeper,
Okay.
and he's going to explore different themes with the family. So I think it's going to be really cool.
Awesome. So yeah, if you guys are ready to get your spook on, The Haunting of Hill House.
Yay.
Nice. So moving on to my number 3. Little Fires Everywhere. This is a show that was released on Hulu, and it was a weekly show. I remember when it came out, I was waiting each week to catch up to this show. Now all of the episodes are on Hulu. If you want to check it out, I don't think that it's getting a season 2. I think it's just kind of a limited series, but for what it was great. It had Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington, these mothers that are just hell bent on destroying each other's lives. Man, it's it's so great. Have you seen this show?
Yes. I binged this in one day as well. And my God, they were both brilliant. Like I wrote, like normally I don't write pieces on television series because I don't binge them fast enough. So I think if I were to write a piece, it wouldn't make sense. But now that I've started to do so, I've had the time to binge them in one sitting. I wrote a piece on Little Fires Everywhere. There's so much to unpack. There's so much to write about. There's so much to talk about. And like you said, Carrie and Reese going head to head, that was straight fire. So
it was lit. No, it was good though. It's based in the 90s in Shaker, Ohio. Man, it was so good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the ending as well. I feel like the ending was a lot of people didn't really care for it. It was kind of a little bit up to the interpretation what is going to happen, after the fact, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Same.
So yeah, moving on to your number 2.
So this film, The Irishman, is 3 hours and a half. It's 3:30 on Netflix. I've watched it 5 times. That's how much I love it.
Man, you like dedication.
Yeah, I know. Martin Scorsese is my favorite director of all time. And this has become kind of like a comfort film for me. It's all about loyalty and brotherhood and the lengths you'd go to for your best friend, your closest friends, and betrayal and the same kind of like mob mentality. I grew up on mafia films, on gangster films. I'm Italian, so I grew up on that stuff. So this getting a cast like that, like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, like it's a stacked cast. Those are all legends, and they all did an incredible job. So for me, like it's there. It is a masterclass for Marty. And I understand that like it's not his best. Like I get that, but I loved it. So if you want to watch a movie that's 3.5 hours long,
if you got some time on your hands,
if you got time, or you just want to watch it in the background, because I've done that where like I just need to hear, when you just hear voices, and like it's become a comfort film for me just listening to them because I grew up with them. So it's a very personal choice.
It's personal to you.
Yeah.
I have not seen The Irishman. And I know that it's critically acclaimed. It's something that I think they have a Criterion version out there. Man, you bought it. Of course you did. You're number 2. But yeah, I hear that great things about it. I also hear that it's just kind of too long for what it is. But hey, once I watch it, I'll have to come up with my own thoughts about it.
Do it.
So yeah, moving on to my number 2, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I am a Star Wars fan, and this is an amazing Star Wars show, and it really doesn't even necessarily feel like Star Wars, like to the core. It just kind of it's in that universe, that it's in that realm, but it's not too much to feel like it's unoriginal. So I think it's kind of like a cowboy space show. It's really fun, and they just kind of took a different approach than other Star Wars films. Have you seen The Mandalorian at all? Are
Yes,
you?
this is the way. So I watched.
This is the way. This is the way.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like, oh, this is gonna sound bad, but
It's okay.
I am not a big Star Wars fan. I'm not a
Okay.
huge Star Wars fan, but I appreciate what they did with the entire universe. I'm someone who will watch something based on like how acclaimed it is and like the buzz and like everything that comes with it. Like I like diving into that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but like The Mandalorian was just so different.
It's
It
different.
was so different. It was cool. Like it was sleek, and like the character of Mando, like I really love him. He's just so chill. Like it's such a
Seriously.
yeah, it's such a
Seriously.
good lead character, and like Baby Yoda is like the cutest thing ever. I wish I had
Child.
Baby Yoda. Well, yeah, we don't know. Apparently, you're not supposed to call him Baby Yoda, but he looks
Yeah.
like Baby Yoda. I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't
guess
know what that's
he's the child. Baby Yoda was given the name Baby Yoda by fans.
It's like, hello, it looks exactly like him.
I mean, hey, whatever works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever works, man. I mean, I like the name Baby Yoda. It's catchy.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have watched this far, you've made it to our number 1 spot. Any words before you give your number 1?
I also have another honorable mention that I just remembered.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I love The Morning Show on Apple
Okay.
TV Plus. I thought that was really good. Jen Aniston's like my heart, because we mentioned Reese Witherspoon, and I'm like, oh wait, they did something together. But that show like blew my mind. So if you have
Really?
Apple TV Plus, please watch The Morning Show. It's so good.
That's one I haven't seen it either.
Really good.
Okay.
I loved
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Nice recommendation. Okay, so we're gonna move on to your number 1.
So this movie literally just came out last week. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5.
Woo.
It's just so fun. It's raunchy. It's educational. It's about friendships being rebuilt. And it's about these 2 young girls just going on a journey to kind of find themselves and find out who they are while helping one of them get an abortion in Albuquerque. They can't legally get one where they are, so they have to drive to Albuquerque. I don't know why Albuquerque stayed in my head, but it did. But like it did. But Haley Lou Richardson and Barbie Ferreira are absolutely amazing in this. There's such good chemistry between them as well, and I think it's an important coming of age film. Like point blank, like what I really loved about UnPregnant is the fact that they spoke about these issues out in the open, and it was still fun. Like it was funny, but the emotional moments that were in this film really packed a punch and kind of stayed with me. Like it was really emotional. And young girls need to see this process. I'm sorry. Like young girls need to understand that they have options. And I think that this movie did it perfectly. It was a perfect balance of like dramatic moments and then comedic moments. And it was a good blend, a great coming of age film for HBO Max, which is really cool.
Yeah, and this is like one of the first HBO Max films, original films.
Yeah.
I know there was a few American Pickle, and I'm not sure what other ones are out there, but I know that UnPregnant was like one of the first HBO Max original films, and it's one that I've been wanting to watch for a while. Ever since it came out, I've been wanting to watch it. I just haven't found the time to.
Yeah,
it's one I'm definitely going to check out. So that brings us to my number 1. Stranger Things on Netflix. I love Stranger Things. If you haven't heard of Stranger Things, you're living under a rock, because it's like one of the biggest shows, probably the biggest show on Netflix right now. And they just finished season 3 last year. And season 4 is coming. They say that's not going to be the last one. I'm a little nervous because I feel like it might be being dragged out a little bit. It's getting a little bit gimmicky towards the end of season 3, but hopefully they do it right. Hopefully they end it right. What do you think about Stranger Things? Have you partaken in the fruits that are Stranger Things?
Okay, so I watched the first season, and then I watched like half of the second season, and then I didn't finish it. So
Mm.
I have no idea why I stopped, because like I love those kids.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what
And pick
happened.
it back up.
I can't seem to like get back into it for some reason, and that upsets me because it's such a solid show for Netflix.
It
But that
is.
happens to me though. Like I've noticed when I do watch television series, if the writing starts to get a little bit bad, then I'm just like, okay, bye,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving.
I
Which
got
is,
better stuff to watch.
but like that's so bad. It's so bad, especially when things are like 7 seasons long, and then I just stop at season 3 because I'm like fed up with the writing. Like it's not good. But I'll try to give it a go.
But the thing is, it's so much stuff out there that you can watch, and like it's attainable too. So it's like
Yeah.
if I'm not really feeling it,
Yeah.
I can move on to something that I really am liking. So
Yeah.
I understand that. I get that completely. But I urge you to finish Stranger Things because it's good. It gets good. I feel like season 3 is strong. Towards the end, like I said, it might be a little gimmicky, and then season 4 is coming out. They revealed some things about season 4 that I'm kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully they do it right. And yeah, so we are done with our list. Thank you, Amanda, for coming by. What do I call you, Amanda or Manda? Because you have both on your Instagram.
So formally, like I go by Amanda, but I don't know why Manda just stuck. So now everyone's calling me that. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Just call me Manda. It's easier to say. It's faster. So
yeah. So if you're looking for her on Instagram, this is the tag that you need to look for. Yeah. Yes, because I get confused sometimes.
It's okay. My Twitter handle, my Instagram handle, and my Letterboxd handle is the exact same that's presented on the screen.
Cool.
And then my YouTube channel is Candid Cinema, which is also linked to my website, which is candidaxcinema.com. So that's, I kind of separated it, but I want people to know like who I am. So I put that on Canada. It's easier. Sorry?
You're in Canada.
Yes, I'm in Canada.
Okay. I guess I didn't really know that. That's cool.
Okay, yeah. I'm here.
I'm in the States.
Yeah.
So
So
this is the end of the video. So I'm going to let you plug where can we find you and what you got coming up next.
Yeah, so you guys can definitely find me at AmxndaReviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I kind of wanted to do like a September wrap up for another live stream on my channel at Candid Cinema. And I have some writing pieces. I kind of want to go watch Tenet, I'm going to figure that out and like write a review for it. And that's pretty much all I have coming up right now. October is going to be big. There's going to be watch parties. There's going to be, friggin' so many things that are going to happen in October. I'm going to try to watch as many horror films as I can, as I normally do. So yeah, you guys can find me right there, AmxndaReviews. Yeah.
Nice. And I'm trying to do the same thing. In October, I'm going ham on some horror films, and you guys can catch me on Letterboxd. I'm going to be reviewing all of them. I'll probably check out films that I've already seen, and I'm really trying to find some films that I haven't seen. Maybe even some foreign films, because I kind of need to get into that. That's one genre that I haven't really dove into like I need to. So foreign films are definitely on the list to watch. But yeah, so as far as my channel, you guys are on my YouTube channel, AJREACTS2, but you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Letterboxd, AJREACTS2, all across the board. And let us know in the comments what you guys are thinking about the streaming list. If you enjoyed our list and what is on your list, let us know. We're very interested to see. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.